All right, so it's the new year. You have some resolutions, and one of them is to start paying off some debt. Loan consolidation. Let's get those balances down to zero. First of all, I'm John Sarasani, and welcome to my page. Whether you're subscribing to my YouTube channel or following one of my Instagram pages, yes, there are two, John Sarasani and @TheRealJohnSarasani. TikTok is John Sarasani, and YouTube is John Sarasani TV. And if you were wondering, yes, I am the world's greatest dad and even have a mug that says it, okay? Listen, here's how I've gotten rich. It's been trial and error over the years. But one of the things I came up with about 10 years ago is that if I have a loan interest rate that's lower than 5%, that's my magic number, 5%, I don't try to pay that loan off. I keep it for as long as possible. Let me kind of go through some scenarios with you. Depending on where you're at in life, you might have a first mortgage on your primary residence. You might have a couple car payments. You might have a boat payment. Who knows? You might have a payment on a rental property back from before you were married that you kept and now you and your spouse rented out. Whatever the case may be, look at the interest rates. If they're under 5%, don't pay them down. All of you people out there with interest rates on houses that you bought a few years ago when interest rates were super low, that are overpaying each month because you're now making more money than you were back in, say, 2019, 2020. Well, gosh, John, my salary went up 50 grand. Me and my wife don't want to move. I could afford more than that payment. Dude, you're at a 2.2% interest rate. Don't overpay that each month. Well, why not? It goes right towards principal. Correct. And that's the problem. A little secret, guys. The rich get richer because of what I'm about to tell you right now. All right? The Dave Ramseys, the financial experts of the world that give advice out there saying, don't carry any debt, debt's bad. They're talking to you like you're Gen Pop. All right? Because they know that Gen Pop is not able to be disciplined enough to do what I'm about to say. And I gotta tell you, what I'm about to say ain't very freaking complicated either. Okay? Let's use it in the simplest terms. I take $1,000 and I put it in the S&P 500, mutual fund, index fund. Okay? I'm gonna expect over time to make around 8%, but let's say it's only 7.5%. On that $1,000, that's gonna give me $75 a year coming back to me. You follow me? Feel me? If I have an interest rate that's 2% on a mortgage, that interest is costing me on for every $1,000 is costing me only $20. So that $1,000 extra I'm paying towards that mortgage each month, instead of paying that mortgage down each month, instead of taking that extra $1,000 and putting it towards an S&P 500 index fund, is costing me $55 per $1,000 each year. All right? Well, John, you don't know what the stock market's going to do. You don't know what the guys. Either listen or don't. That's fine. You want to be super conservative and you want to protect yourself. That's fine. But paying off a low interest piece of debt is not bright. And it's not just for mortgages, guys. I use mortgages as the easiest example because a lot of people have interest rates under that. But you have a credit card right now with some kind of introductory rate that's 0.9% or whatever for the first 24 months. Damn it. Use those whole 24 months up, guys. Pay off other things that are higher interest rates first. And if they're under 5%, don't pay them off at all. Take all that extra money, make your minimum payments, take any extra money you have in excess and put it in to the stock market. There's people out there scratching their head saying this is the worst advice in the world because people aren't disciplined enough to do that. John, people aren't smart enough to do what you're saying. They're gonna go spend it at the bar, they're gonna go spend it at the mall, they're gonna go buy a watch. They're telling you that you're too stupid to follow this advice. That's what they're saying to you when they say that. Okay, you're not smart enough to be able to do what I'm describing here. Okay, And it's a paradigm shift, guys. It's a paradigm shift. I used to have this whole chart when I was like 30 years old. I had a whole Excel spreadsheet because I just started making really good money. I had a bunch of rental properties. I had my primary residence. And I said, okay, if I pay this off and this off and this off, blah, 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 and then this house is going to be, this rental property is going to be free and clear by the time I'm 38 if I make these payments, and then these three are going to be there. And then I could retire into the sunset and have all this freaking money from my rental income. My primary residence will be halfway paid off at the time, but I'm going to refinance it then and bring that payment down. And look at all this money I'm going to make. Look at all this money I'm going to make. You're leaving money on the table. That ain't a bad plan. That ain't a bad plan, but you're leaving money on the table, guys. If in that process you're paying off low interest rates, low interest debt, all right? You're just leaving money on the table. Whatever that math came out to, that you think you're going to get all this money and be free and clear, it would have been more if you do what I'm saying in the long term, all right? So keep that in mind, guys, and this is what rich people do, period. Rich people do this shit. Sorry, it's a fact, okay? People that are getting divorced, you're in a tough spot, a real tough spot. Because a lot of times when you're getting divorced, if you have a low interest mortgage, you're gonna be forced to refinance. And hey, maybe the guy was gonna keep the house or the woman was gonna keep the house with the kids or whatever the case may be, but you gotta buy each other out and you don't have enough cash to do that. Find the cash. Find the cash to do it if you have a 2% interest rate right now, because what you're doing is really crippling yourself moving into the future, okay? And let me just tell you what I mean by that. Let's say somebody has a house that's market value $500,000, you got 300 grand on your mortgage balance, you're getting divorced, there's 200 grand of equity in there, and you know, this person is going to buy out this person, they refinance, and he gets the 100 grand, she keeps the house, and the mortgage rate goes up. Well, yeah, the mortgage rate went up because in that example, you just took a 300 grand mortgage up to a 400 grand mortgage, John. Correct, but even if you got around that, there's a bigger problem. And that's that the interest rate just went from 2% to 6%, and those monthly payments are gonna skyrocket, and you're not gonna know what hit you. And the lawyers that you use in that divorce aren't financial people, okay? They're not gonna have the resources to educate you on this. Some might, but it's not really their job, okay? So, you know, the way around that is to try to figure out if you have a friend, a spouse, or not a spouse, a new spouse, maybe a family member, a parent, or somebody that could work out something with you that you don't have to refinance that house, and you find a way to give her or him that 100 grand in that example without refinancing the whole deal. You know, that's the move. Now, eventually you're gonna have to deal with getting each other's names off the house, but in the meantime, for that mortgage, hey dude, don't sit here and not get divorced because of that. You know, let's find a way to get around it. And I understand not everybody has that luxury. All right, I understand not everyone has that luxury, okay? But hey guys, just want to share something with you from a personal finance perspective. I see a lot of stuff on the internet where people are giving advice that, you know, they're kind of talking to you like you're morons. They're kind of talking to you like you're morons. The morning shows on New Year's, new year, here, new year, new you. Here's how you go about it. Never once do they say, hey, pay off the minimum, take that excess and invest it, okay? Because they don't think you're smart enough to do it, all right? I'm John Sarasani, thanks for listening. Subscribe to John Sarasani TV on YouTube, at John Sarasani on TikTok and Instagram, at The Real John Sarasani on Instagram as well. Thanks, guys.